Today, I want to dive deep into some important developments surrounding the Las Vegas Raiders and the speculation swirling around the NFL that could significantly impact the team's future. First things first, let's discuss the scheduled visits the Raiders have lined up for today. If you're watching this video in real time, you're already aware that today marks the official start of the off-season activities for the team. The NFL off-season is officially underway, and the Raiders are back to work. As the season winds down and teams begin their preparations for next year, it's a crucial time to evaluate talent, adjust team strategies, and make moves that will shape the future of the franchise. 3 players who are preparing for the upcoming NFL draft have visits scheduled with the Raiders: Boise State running back Ashton Gentry, Michigan defensive tackle Mason Graham, and Texas quarterback Quinn Ewers. These 3 players will be attending the first day of voluntary off-season activities, and their presence is no coincidence. The Raiders are clearly making a concerted effort to assess some of the top talents available in the draft. It's not just about these players showing up, it's about building a relationship with them and determining whether they fit into the team's vision for the future. It's important to highlight the significance of these visits, especially since the Raiders have a history of being meticulous when it comes to evaluating players. The presence of these 3 players is noteworthy, and while some might dismiss it as just another routine part of the offseason, I believe there's a lot more to it. Why today, specifically? Why not yesterday or later this week? It seems like there's some deeper reasoning behind scheduling these visits on the exact same day. There's something to be said for the timing, and I'm convinced that this isn't by accident. If I were to rate the importance of these visits on a scale from 1 to 10, with 1 being an overreaction and 10 being a highly significant event for these players, I'd probably give it a solid 7, maybe even an 8, especially given the Raiders' interest in Ashton Gentry. His visit isn't just a formality. The Raiders seem genuinely intrigued by his potential. Let me explain why I feel this way. Ashton Gentry, for example, has already made quite an impression on the team. Not only did he have a top 30 visit with the Raiders, but he also had a formal meeting at the Combine and a workout visit on the same day. On top of that, there was a dinner with the Raiders coaching staff and Gentry, along with his Boise State coach. This is significant because, as far as we know, the Raiders were the only team to engage in such an in-depth interaction with him. It's clear the Raiders are interested in what Gentry brings to the table, and I suspect they're hoping he'll be available when they make their pick. When it comes to Mason Graham, the Raiders have also made it clear they're keeping a close eye on him. The team conducted a top 30 visit with him, and he had a formal meeting at the Combine as well. There's also the undeniable connection to Michigan, which adds another layer of intrigue. We know that Tom Brady, a Michigan legend, will be playing a role in this coming season's proceedings. The Raiders' focus on the defensive line has been one of their main priorities this offseason, and Graham could fit into that plan perfectly, providing an additional layer of support to key players like Max Crosby and Christian Wilkins. This all points to the Raiders' recognition of the importance of strengthening the defensive front. Then there's Quinn Ewers, the quarterback from Texas. Ewers had a top 30 visit before the Combine, and he's the only quarterback in this draft who has had both a top 30 visit and formal meetings with teams. The Raiders' interest in quarterbacks this offseason has been well documented, and Ewers' visit to the team only adds to the speculation that they might be eyeing a quarterback as a future project. The Raiders' coaching staff could be looking for someone they can develop over the next few years, and Ewers might be the perfect candidate to sit behind a veteran quarterback, learning the ropes before taking the reins. It's clear that the Raiders are doing their due diligence when it comes to assessing potential quarterbacks, and Ewers' presence on this list only strengthens that theory. But here's the big question: why now? Why have the Raiders scheduled all of these visits for today of all days? There's clearly a strategy behind it, and it's not something that can be easily dismissed. The timing of these visits suggests that the Raiders are not just going through the motions. They're making intentional, calculated decisions to position themselves for future success. These 3 players might represent the next wave of talent that the Raiders are looking to bring in, but the fact that they're all showing up at this specific time speaks volumes about the team's strategy moving forward. I think it's also worth mentioning that some of these players might not just be a fit for the Raiders' immediate needs. They could also be viewed as long-term investments players who have the potential to develop into cornerstones for the franchise in the years to come. The Raiders have made it clear they are focusing on key positions this offseason, and the addition of players like Gentry, Graham, and Ewers could be a sign that the team is trying to get younger, faster, and more dynamic. In fact, this focus on key positions goes hand in hand with the Raiders' overarching strategy this offseason. From the moves they've made so far to the evaluations they're conducting, it's clear that the team is focused on building a strong, sustainable foundation. Whether it's bolstering the defensive line or finding a future quarterback, the Raiders are positioning themselves to make significant strides in the upcoming seasons. And with this fresh influx of talent, they'll have a better chance of competing in what is sure to be a highly competitive NFL landscape. As for the overall importance of today's visits, I'm convinced it's a pretty big deal. These players aren't just random prospects. They're potential game changers who could play pivotal roles in the Raiders' future. Whether it's Gentry's explosiveness, Graham's power on the defensive line, or Ewers' potential as a developmental quarterback, each of these players has something to offer that could help the Raiders take their game to the next level. There's a sense of excitement surrounding the team right now. And as these visits continue, it's becoming increasingly clear that the Raiders are gearing up for something special. Of course, we'll have to wait and see how things shake out in the draft. But for now, it's fascinating to watch as the team works to secure the next wave of talent. There's a lot riding on these visits, and they could very well shape the direction the Raiders take in the coming years. In the next section, we'll take a closer look at some of the ongoing rumors and speculation surrounding the team and how they might influence the Raiders' strategy going forward. Stay tuned as we continue to break down what's happening behind the scenes and what it means for the Raiders' future. But for now, let's keep an eye on these visits and see how they play out. The Raiders are clearly making moves, and with the draft just around the corner, we could be on the brink of seeing some exciting changes to the roster. As we continue to dive deeper into the Raiders' offseason plans and how the team is preparing for the NFL draft, it's clear that the organization has some exciting decisions ahead. With the scheduled visits completed for now, it's time to shift focus to another important area that has been getting a lot of attention in recent days: the ongoing rumors about the team's draft strategy. We've already discussed some of the key prospects that the Raiders are keeping their eyes on, but there's a whole new layer of speculation unfolding around what direction the team might take in the draft. One of the most significant rumors circulating involves the possibility of the Raiders making a trade to move up in the draft. Many analysts have pointed out that the team might look to make a move in order to land a player who could immediately contribute to the squad. It's no secret that the Raiders have some glaring needs, particularly on the defensive side of the ball, and it wouldn't be surprising to see them use their draft capital to secure a high-impact player. In addition to strengthening their defense, the Raiders have also been looking closely at potential quarterbacks for the future. As we know, the team has been linked to several quarterbacks over the past few weeks, and rumors have surfaced that the Raiders are considering taking a quarterback with their first pick. Some insiders believe the team could go in that direction, especially after seeing the success of young quarterbacks in recent drafts. It's important to note, however, that the Raiders are also in a position to address other critical needs, such as improving their offensive line and adding depth to their wide receiver core. This makes the team's draft strategy all the more intriguing, as they will have to balance their immediate needs with their long-term vision for the future. One thing is certain: the Raiders are not sitting idly by. They are actively making moves to position themselves for success, whether it's through targeted visits to key players or by exploring potential trade opportunities. But beyond the speculations and rumors, the real test for the team will be their ability to execute on draft day. It's one thing to have a plan, but it's another to bring it to fruition. The Raiders will need to make some tough decisions and take calculated risks, but if they play their cards right, they could emerge from the draft with the pieces they need to elevate the team and set themselves up for success in the coming seasons. Moving on from the rumors about trades and quarterback selections, it's worth discussing another draft scenario that has caught the attention of many analysts. As we continue to evaluate the Raiders' needs and how they might approach the upcoming draft, there's one player who seems to be a potential game changer: a cornerback from Michigan. This player has been the subject of much discussion in recent weeks, with many speculating that he could be a top pick in the upcoming draft. Although some question whether the Raiders would select a cornerback with the 6th overall pick, the reality is that this player is considered one of the best in his position, and his ability to contribute immediately could make him a strong candidate for the Raiders. There's also the fact that the Raiders are known for making bold moves in the draft, and selecting a top-tier cornerback could significantly strengthen their secondary. However, there's more to this story than just the cornerback from Michigan. The Raiders have been closely monitoring several players at various positions, and they've shown interest in a wide range of prospects. Some reports indicate that the team is looking at players who could contribute on the offensive line, while others suggest that the Raiders might be eyeing a wide receiver to help bolster their passing game. The key to the Raiders' draft strategy will be their ability to balance these needs and make the right selections based on the available talent. With so many options on the table, the team will need to be strategic in order to maximize the value of their picks and ensure they are selecting players who can make an immediate impact. Another interesting piece of the puzzle involves the Raiders' overall approach to team building. There's been a lot of talk about the team's long-term vision, and many believe that the Raiders are focused on creating a solid foundation for future success. This could involve taking some calculated risks, especially when it comes to selecting players who may not have immediate, obvious impacts, but have the potential to develop into key contributors over time. For instance, a quarterback who may not be ready to start immediately could still be a valuable investment for the future. The Raiders have the luxury of being able to draft a player they can develop, and that might be the key to ensuring long-term success for the franchise. As we continue to explore the various possibilities for the Raiders in the upcoming draft, it's clear that the team is not afraid to think outside the box. They are willing to explore all options, whether it's moving up in the draft, selecting a quarterback, or taking a chance on a player who could turn out to be a hidden gem. The Raiders are playing a game of chess, carefully positioning themselves to make the best moves, and there's no telling what surprises might be in store for us when the draft finally arrives. In addition to the players they are targeting in the draft, the Raiders are also keeping a close eye on other teams and how their decisions might affect the Raiders' strategy. The dynamic nature of the NFL draft means that anything can happen, and teams are constantly jockeying for position. It's possible that the Raiders could find themselves in a situation where they need to make a last-minute decision based on how the draft unfolds. Whether it's a surprise trade or a player unexpectedly falling to them, the Raiders will have to be prepared for any scenario. As we get closer to the draft, the speculation around the Raiders' strategy will only intensify. Analysts, fans, and insiders will all be closely monitoring the team's every move, trying to predict what direction they will go in. But in the end, the Raiders' success will come down to their ability to make smart, strategic decisions that align with their long-term vision. Whether it's securing a game-changing defensive player, drafting a future quarterback, or adding depth to their roster, the Raiders have the potential to come out of this draft stronger than ever. The next few weeks will be crucial in determining the team's future, and it's safe to say that Raider Nation is eagerly awaiting what comes next. In the final part of this analysis, we'll dive into more rumors surrounding the team, including potential trade scenarios and which players might be on the move. The draft is always a time for excitement and uncertainty, and the Raiders are certainly no exception. With so many variables at play, the next few days could be full of surprises. Stay tuned as we continue to break down the latest news and rumors, and keep an eye on the Raiders as they make their moves leading up to the draft. The road to a stronger team starts now, and Raider Nation is ready for what's next. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. What happens in Vegas might just be where Aaron Rodgers takes his final bow. But is Sin City ready for one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time? The Las Vegas Raiders are turning heads with their latest pursuit, none other than NFL legend Aaron Rodgers. Following the New York Jets announcement in February that they intend to move on from the four-time MVP, rumors have erupted around the league, but few seem as determined as the Raiders. With Rodgers' time in New York marked by both injuries and sparks of brilliance, Vegas appears eager to roll the dice on the veteran quarterback who still believes he has something left to prove. Rodgers, now 41, had a roller coaster 2024 season, marked by a dramatic return from injury, highs like his 500 career touchdown pass, and lows including an 11-interception campaign. Despite missing the playoffs and enduring a shaky 5-12 record with the Jets, his name still commands weight, especially in a city built on bold bets and big personalities. The Raiders, who have struggled to find long-term stability at quarterback, view Rodgers as the type of transformational figure who could not only elevate their play, but also electrify their brand. The Raiders' interest isn't just about wins and stats. It's about spectacle, star power, and legacy. Rodgers, a Super Bowl champion, statistical marvel, and controversial figure, would instantly become the face of the franchise and bring unmatched attention to Allegiant Stadium. Pairing him with weapons like Davante Adams, his longtime Green Bay partner, could reignite one of the NFL's most dangerous quarterback-receiver duos. And in a division ruled by Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert, Vegas knows it needs a legend to compete. Yet, the move wouldn't be without risk. Rodgers dealt with nagging leg injuries throughout the season and struggled with consistency. His decision to avoid scans sparked concern about his long-term durability. But in a league that thrives on redemption arcs and veteran resurgences, the Raiders seem ready to take that gamble. After all, no other city understands high stakes quite like Las Vegas. As negotiations develop, one question remains. Is this the beginning of Rodgers' final chapter? A daring desert adventure with silver and black ambition? Or just another twist in one of football's most compelling careers? Either way, the NFL world is watching, and Vegas may just be ready to place its biggest bet yet. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.